All right, for more on this, a Special Investigations Unit Head of Communications, Kaizer Kganyago, joins us now live via video link. A very good afternoon to you, Kaizer, and thank you so much for your time. Speak to us firstly about what exactly your investigations entailed into the Road Accident Fund and, of course, its CEO, Collins Letsoalo, and the focus of your probe, which we understand, of course, relates to several suspicious payments made to law firms.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. We are investigating a lot of issues at the RAF and not necessarily an individual called Collins Letsoalo. We are looking at the kind of transactions that they did in terms of procurement. And one of those is the one that we are referring to of the building that in their provincial office in Gauteng that we're investigating. But over and above that, we're investigating the transaction where lawyers were milking the road accident fund. There are instances, for example, where we have people who were involved in the double dipping, what we call double dipping, where they would subpoena the bank account of the road accident fund to get the money when they are not paid at a certain time. And then when the payments are done, they would have then gotten the money twice, and they just kept it. Therefore, this is some of the things that we are investigating at road accident fund and some of the procurement of goods and services that they are doing.
All right, I know you don't want to speak about individuals rather, but this is worrying in terms of what you call double dipping. So are you investigating other persons as well, not just one individual? Is that my understanding of it?
No. We always say that as a SIU, we do not investigate people. We investigate processes. And once we find that the processes have not been done correctly, we then say who did what and who did not do what. And that's where the names of people come into play. Therefore, we do not start the investigation by saying we are investigating this specific person, because that's not what we are here for. We will deal with that at a later stage, yes.
All right. So the SIU, you appeared before Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts not too long ago, giving more details, and of course, around these investigations. How much can you tell us about this reportedly preliminary report that the SIU has completed?
Yeah, when we went to Scopa to make the presentation, we indicated the amounts that we have received because we went back to all of these lawyers who got double the money, and most of them came back and then paid back the money, and those that did not have the money, they then ended up with acknowledgement of debt that they signed. But we also went further to say preliminary information before us are indicating that the CEO of Road Accident Fund has really gotten into the process of the leasing of the interfered sort of in the process of the leasing of the building in Johannesburg, and that is what was in our report, and that is what was placed before the public after our appearance in Scopa, among other things.
I want to take a quick step back and ask you this question. What really led you to this investigation? What were you looking at primarily?
In this particular instance, it was Road Accident Fund that approached us with the amount of things that they needed to do. But we then went out and we got a proclamation from the president around the issues that needed to be investigated. And then we started doing the investigation. But in the main, it was Road Accident Fund that approached us.
I know we're talking about the Road Accident Fund. Can you tell us what else you're investigating as the SIU? I want to mention, of course, some of those investigations you mentioned during Scopa, including, of course, the lottery.
Yeah, we have got a lot of investigations that we are dealing with. We are dealing with the lottery, we are dealing with NSFAS, we are dealing with the Skills Fund, we are dealing with all these water agencies that are there. We are all over, and for an example, just to give an indication, we've got more than 50 new proclamations in this 3 months of the year already. And that is a lot of work that we are busy with.
And I mean, I know you've explained, of course, that you don't look at individuals. Do individuals who leave the entities that you look into, does that at all impact on your investigations? We know, of course, the RAF CEO, his term is ending soon.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect us because at the end of it all, our main intention is to recover the monies that would have been spent in an unlawful manner. Therefore, if something like that would have happened, therefore, what we'll then do is, for example, there are instances where when people need to be disciplined, then they resign. We go for their pensions, we freeze those pensions until the matter is finalized and we recover the money from their pension. But for those that have done wrong things, they've left the organization and there's criminality around them, we take these matters further to the NPA so that they can be charged criminally and they are dealt with. But in cases where we still need to recover, if they have properties, we go after those properties, we get orders to sell those properties to recover the monies.
All right, Kaizer, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Special Investigations Unit Head of Communications, Kaizer Kganyago, there, of course, speaking to us there about the Road Accident Fund and its investigation. This, of course, follows the Road Accident Fund CEO, Collins Letswalo, who has been placed on special leave.